Some people are just born blind. It's not your fault that you're born blind. The slave master took 400 years to blind you. But not only did he blind you, he made you deaf, dumb, and blind. See, a lot of people don't stop to think that who they really are. They don't think about that you're made up of a single atom. That atom attracted other atoms, made a cell, made systems within your own self. From a sperm. Now, God and mankind are two different people. We have yet figured that out, but most of us that studied the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and comprehended and internalized those teachings know what time it is. Now, Eddy Griffin, he got a little bit more of a thought process going for him and Master P, than a whole lot of brothers. But he still haven't yet figured out that he is God and the Caucasian is the devil. He haven't figured that out yet. He just think it's some devilish Caucasians like it is some devilish black people, but he yet to figure out that the Indians said white man talk with forked tongue. I say never trust a pale face and a smile. That's what I say. But Eddy Griffin, I agree with him. Now, I usually don't promote entertainers, but Eddy Griffin is outstanding. I believe he know how to turn weaponized money against them, him and Master P. That's why they always one step ahead. He probably got a couple of operations going for himself that he don't talk about. But check this out.
On social media lately. On Monday, the comedian will share a video on Instagram letting all of his followers know that he will not be taking any vaccines for COVID-19. The caption he chose, "I would not be a crash test dummy." People in the comments were split. Some showed their support for Griffin, while others sided against him. Since the vaccines have been rolling out, there has been a lot of hesitations with taking the shot, especially with the black community. Griffin specifically mentioned Johnson & Johnson in his rant and stood strong in his stance against the COVID vaccine. Today we have our Company Hype analysts, Rita, Brent, and Pierre calling in to talk about Eddy Griffin's comments. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
These are short-sighted.
I don't believe them numbers. India's got the most cases. America's the most vaccinated. Of course America's the most vaccinated. It's easy to brainwash. All they got to do is stick it on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox 24/7. Take the COVID shot. Take the COVID shot. Take the COVID shot. Them gonna take that COVID shot. Well, guess what? I ain't taking the COVID shot. Johnson & Johnson is back on the market because we done figured out what the side effects are. Really? How'd you figure that out? Oh, by people dying. That's how you figured it out. You figured out it causes blood clots by mother dying. So you took it off the market. Now you're going to turn around and put it right back on a month later saying, now we know the side effects of blood clots. Don't they let you know these motherfuckers tested this shit? If you'd like to continue to be a crash test dummy, go ahead. Shoot your shit. Shoot the shit.
Now I want to read two comments that a couple users responded to this video, and then I want to dive into you all's reaction as well. One user said, LOL, COVID causes blood clots too. And we saw the side effects of COVID as well. What was over 600,000 people dead in the U.S. But hey, who am I to discuss the numbers game? Still love you, Eddy. Another user states, a vaccine created within a year for free that has no liability? No. Rita, I want to come to you first. Do you think Eddy Griffin's concerns are valid after seeing this video?
Yeah.
Yes, I think Eddy Griffin represents a large amount of people who are afraid to get the vaccine for a number of reasons. I've seen some people say that
or just
I'm
smart.
not worried about COVID as a black person. I'm worried about police brutality. I'm worried about racism more than I am about getting the disease. But on the other side, we know that black people are more affected by COVID. I think it boils down to two things. That's personal choice and personal peace. And so it is Eddy Griffin's personal choice to not get the vaccine just as it is everybody else's. But some people feel like getting the vaccine is a personal choice because they can travel and now they can hang out with their elderly friends or their parents, as they have stated.
She is crazy.
So I think what it all boils down to is a personal choice. And I know
those
that's
that think like her,
Republican slant, but a lot of
something wrong with
people feel
you,
like it, especially black people.
Right. No, I definitely agree. Pierre, what about do you think Eddy Griffin's concerns are valid?
You know, if you want to take it, you take it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, it's your life. You know what I'm trying to say. It's your life. You do what you want with it, and you know, if he feels that it's been too quickly made, and you know, there's not enough results and not enough tests, then he has the right to feel that way. And if you don't want to take it, he doesn't want to take it. You know, other folks feel like it is. You know, it's something that's going to protect them.
Absolutely. And I want to read one of the points that Griffin made in this. So, as you know, he did mention Johnson & Johnson, you know, that strain gives blood clots. But he said, you know, how can we trust Johnson & Johnson when they couldn't even make a baby powder without giving people diseases?
You see?
So I think it's, you know, just looking at the history, Rita, I see you smiling. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that is a legitimate concern once again, because if you read the statistics, Johnson & Johnson is in the 60%.
Field to make this prediction and then have the world essentially not listen and not prepare.
Well, there's no good feeling that comes
now you got to understand.
I told you so. If anything
double talk
kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war.
Check
you know,
that
I
out.
just think back of could I have been more persuasive? But we've actually invested very little in a system to stop an epidemic.
Check this out.
We're not ready for the next epidemic.
How did you make such a prescient prediction? How did you know this was going to happen?
Well, there's a number of respiratory viruses, and from time to time one will come along that's very transmissive and causes some level of fatalities. Respiratory diseases are very scary because you're still walking around on a plane, a bus, when you're infectious.
The only reason why the Supreme Being, Allah and the Personal Master Farah Muhammad, hadn't took the Caucasian off the planet because you haven't had a full knowledge of self. It's going to take so many generations for you to know who you really are. But let me just run it down like this. In the Old Testament, Genesis, the beginning starts with, and God created the heavens and the earth, and God made man in his own image. Now, who is the God? And he was talking to some more gods. He said, let us, you know, that was the black man and the black woman. Now, the Caucasian is mankind. He's made in the image of the God, but he's less than the God. We could go on and on, you know, but I don't want y'all to get the wrong impressions that I'm just trying to say this. It's not about the shot. It's about who do you trust? Do you trust your maker, the one that designed you and made you from an atom to a sperm and to a thinking and living being? Or do you trust those that have proved that they are against nature because they can't stay in the sun without getting burnt? But you can. And they don't like that. They don't like that. So they're getting ready to take their act on the road. They're either going to go underground, or they're either going to go to Mars, try to go to Mars, or they're going to make synthetic or artificial intelligence to rule and control you. And those that disagree with what Eddy Griffin was saying are those that are deaf, dumb, and blind. You trust the one that enslaved you. You trust the one that wiped out Indians. You trust the one that went over in Africa with apartheid, went over in Australia where there was black people. Now they over in India trying to wipe them out because we multiply, we don't die. That was a commandment of God. Be fruitful and multiply. And the Caucasian can't do that because of his nature. Well, believe it or not, it's your choice. Your choice, G. Not gangster, but a God.